Good morning, students. A very warm welcome to the ICAI live classes for Foundation. Today we are doing business correspondence and reporting, and the subject for today is reading comprehension. A very warm welcome to all of you. It's a nice Saturday morning. I hope everybody has joined the class. I can see Mr. Om Gupta. Good morning so much. The others, please join. Okay, so good morning, Nidhi and Ruhani. Good morning, Komal Preet Jayalakshmi. Good morning, Rishi and Prakriti. A very nice good morning to all of you. Thank you so much. So it's CA day today. So I think to all the CA aspirants, wishing you a happy future CA day. Hope you will be celebrating the day with as much pomp and show as your seniors are. And soon, maybe in a couple of years, I see you all at the CA day inauguration, at the CA day celebrations. So good to see you all. Good morning, Amit and Ritu. Good morning, Bhumkesh, Hansini, Vani, Raj, Pallavi, Fatima. I have so many students in class. It's a very long list. So I don't know till when will I be reading it. And I can see students from all directions. That's so nice. There are SROs and CROs and NROs and WROs. Very good. Anjali, Debjyoti, Muhammad, Karthike. So welcome to my class. My name is Jyoti, and today we are doing a topic called reading comprehension, which is chapter 4 of your business correspondence and reporting, the foundation level. Please remember, the only mantra to come out with good English, to come up with something where you can impress the audience, to express yourself nicely and clearly and be very articulate in your ideas. The only mantra for that is reading. I'm requesting you, everybody in class today has to read regularly. And I don't mean reading audit books and direct tax and indirect tax books. No, that of course is part of your academics. But besides that, what you read, what you go through, like a page of content, maybe an editorial in Times of India, maybe the Hindu, maybe the Week, maybe the Outlook, any good magazine, any good fiction, that is what is counted as reading. Okay. So it's a sincere request. If you want to stand up and stand in front of the audience and address a public crowd of 500 people, everybody listening to you with so much patience and diligence, then please read, improve your language, and be the smartest when you speak your English. Okay. Fine. So I'm still getting a lot of good morning messages. A very good morning to all of you. I've got a nice sun emoji also by Mr. MD. What is MD? I know MD as Managing Director. Is that your name? Okay. Jasasri, Parth and Garv, Deepanshu, Harshita, Vindhya, and Pankti. Oh, that's a nice name, Pankti. Pankti means the line, right? Or Pankti means those small Panktis in Hindi Kavita. Which one is your name? Jignesh is there, Namanpreet is there, Shreya is there, Sakshi and Satya is there. Okay, wonderful. Nice to have you all. Okay, so to begin with, we'll start the subject for today. So how I go about is we'll have a 1 hour session. We'll take a break after an hour. We'll take a 5-minute break just to refresh ourselves, so that too much of content doesn't go into your head. I want to keep it very normal. I want to keep it very conversational. I want it to be interactive. So it's a sincere request to all of you. If I'm asking you a question, I expect an answer. If I ask you to solve a certain question, I want you to type the answer in the chat box. Okay. The comments are reaching me very quickly. There is no gap. There is no hitch. So I request you, please keep writing. Express yourself, stay confident. This is a good platform where I can hear you out. I can hear your problems. I can understand as an aspirant, see what all are you looking for when it comes to business communication, when it comes to language, and of course, like today, when it comes to reading. Okay. Great. Okay. Priyanshu is like, saluting me. Okay. So Pal, I think your name is Pal. You said Pal, but it's reflecting Jignesh Pathak. So I thought that's your name. I'm sorry for that. Okay. Hi, Santosh. Okay. So I'll start my presentation. That's the first thing, which is mandatory. Just give me a second. Okay. So we begin with the very first topic. Why do we need to read? Fine. So it's very important to understand. People keep coming and asking me, why do I need to read? I'm wanting to become an engineer. I'm wanting to become a doctor. I'm wanting to become maybe a CA. Why do I need to read? So first is you have to understand what is given. When you're reading case studies, when you're reading comprehensions, when you're reading some editorial, and you're asked to make a summary out of it. When you're reading a report, maybe in an organization, CA reports, maybe an audit report, you really have to be very, very clear with what you are reading and what you have understood. For that reason, to understand the given text, you have to read. Okay, it's not easy, right? If I don't read at all, and one fine day somebody comes and gives me a very big report, which is like a 300-page report, and asks me to make a summary out of it, how will I do it? I don't have the habit of reading, isn't it? So it gets very difficult. How you have to put in the habit, that is for me to help you with. But at the end of the day, I want all of you to come and tell me, yes, ma'am, we have started reading. We are reading Sudha Murthy. We are reading Ruskin Bond. We are reading, maybe you're reading some foreign author. You're reading Warren Buffett. Maybe you're reading a newspaper, anything. But please read, please read, please read. Okay, fine. Thanks, Nikita. Same to you. Fine. Okay, next thing is you have to read what? So one, it should be lengths varied, topics varied, issues varied. Length means if I'm reading 100-word paragraph and I say, yes, I have read it, chalo, mera ho gaya. It's not like that. You have to be reading passages of various lengths. You have to be reading passages of maybe, 500 words. You have to be reading an essay. You should be reading a book. The length matters because you will not always be getting a short size story, a short size comprehension. If you have seen your RTPs and MTPs, the size of the passages are varied. We never give you a passage which is like 5-line, 10-line. We are not doing summary and we are not doing précis. We're doing a complete comprehension. So to attempt the comprehension in your exam, if you have a good hold over reading, nobody can cut marks. You are the best. Maybe after 3 years, I'll see you taking a class of comprehension if you read so well. Okay. Second is topics. Everybody's questions are visible. Don't worry, Samreen, I can see all your questions. Source for reading. Array, Sakshi, there is so much to read. How can you say you're not getting a source for reading? There is so much. You tell me what you want. I'll send you the books. I can share links also. Okay. Thank you so much, Sandhya. I've just started and I'm getting a compliment that your teaching is excellent. You've made my day. Now I'll teach with more such energy and I'll teach with a bigger smile on my face. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sandhya. Wonderful. Thanks, Mansi. Same to you. So second is topic. Now, some people come and say, I am a big fan of Shubham Gill and Virat Kohli. So I'm going to read passages only which are based on cricket. That's not done. I like to listen to K-pop. So I'm going to read only passages based on BTS. No. I like to read vocabulary. So I'm going to read stuff written by Shashi Tharoor. No. I'm a hardcore political affair fan and I follow politics to the core. So I'm going to read only political news in the newspaper. No, that is not allowed. No matter what your interest is, you always have to read a variety of topics, a good healthy mix. Like, we have these healthy mix jars these days. For nuts, you have different kinds of seeds and nuts, chia seeds, flax seeds, X seeds, Y seeds, all that. So your reading basket should be full of variety of topics. There should be a little bit of politics, little bit of sports, little bit of entertainment, little bit of Netflix stuff, little bit of current affairs, little bit of environment, little bit of psychology, little bit of geography, little bit of history. That is the healthiest bowl you are reading. So if you're reading a variety of topics, nobody can ever question you. You will be the topmost person in rank when it comes to attempting the business correspondence paper. You will be the first person whom people will come and ask about, how do I read this? What is the meaning of this? Variety is very important when you read. And last but not the least, issues. So issues, suppose I'm reading social issues. I cannot always be reading about child harassment, the POSCO Act. I cannot always be reading about women empowerment. I cannot always be reading about illiteracy. I cannot always be reading about child labor. I should be reading about different issues, even if I'm reading it in the social context. So my context is clear, but I can't read only on that. So even if you're reading about cricket, I cannot restrict myself to IPL. I have to go beyond and see what's happening at the Ranji level, what's happening at the World Cup level, what's happening at the at the Ashes level. Same with any other sport. Similarly, if I'm talking about environment, I cannot restrict myself to Narmada Bachao Andolan. I have to think about the other things. Maybe the oceans are getting polluted, the Bombay seas are getting polluted, Ganges is getting polluted. Why not diversify? So the issues which are being addressed in that particular topic also have to be varied. Once I'm thorough with this, then you need no preparation for reading comprehension. Just go cool, enjoy the exam. Whatever comes, you know what to read, you know how to answer the questions, and you're getting full marks. And reading comprehension questions are compulsory. You don't even have a choice. You have to attempt them, and they hold a stronger weightage. So for that reason, you cannot even skip it. They don't even come in a choice, and they actually test your reading, and they actually test your understanding of the text. And sometimes we have a lot of vocabulary based questions in reading. So all the more you should read. Okay. I'll take a 1 minute break. I'll just go through all the questions and then I'll see what all you are asking. Please give some links for reading. Yes, Neha, I will discuss a suggested reading list towards the end of the class. So before you all jump to the conclusion, you all are like, what should I call you, the Gen Zs or the millennials, I think. So you always want to hear the conclusion first before the actual process. It's a transitional phase. Wait, let me go step by step. I am not of your age, so I need to go with the first step, the second step, and then I'll tell you the whole list. So there is a list of books which I have, which I will suggest. So please wait. Sakshi, the paper is in English, right? तो फिर हिंदी में कैसे पढ़ा दीजिए? Reading comprehension will be in English, vocabulary words will be English. So please आप English पढ़ने की कोशिश कीजिए. Anshika, I will share everything on my screen if it's a link or if it's a suggested book list, so you can see everything in my presentation. Lavya says she's making a lot of grammar mistakes. Okay, I try to speak. So how can I reduce my nervousness? Okay, so you are jumping on to spoken skills now. So I'll probably meet you, have a discussion on how to stand on the podium and address the audience and tell them, I'm here, I'm stronger than everybody. I know my subject. I am like bolder than Nelson Mandela, and see, I'm standing here. Ho jayega. Just a matter of some little preparation. Ho jayega. Sohail, you haven't understood. Okay. Well, see, every faculty has a different style of teaching. So I'm trying my best that whatever I'm telling you in class is at the grassroots level. You know what is grassroots level? The lowest levels. I want to tell you things from the start. If the root is strong, then the shoot is strong. Remember your botany classes in school? Root, shoot, stem, petal, sepal, etc. Usi mein se I'm telling. Draw a time for reading when CA's schedule is busy. Now, Saurav, this is just an excuse. Don't tell me you don't have time. You have time to watch Disney Hotstar. You have time to watch Netflix. You have time to watch YouTube. You have time to watch the reels on YouTube, but you don't have time to read. I just cannot accept this. Every time there is time. It's just that your time management needs a little more check. You share your timetable with me. I'll tell you how to make a timetable. Okay. Not exactly, Riddhi, no group as of now. Okay, Rohit, the stamps are released. Yes, I got it. Thanks, Harshita. Thank you so much. Accent? Am I speaking in an accent? Come on, yes, I don't know whether you meant to compliment me or you actually meant to say that, I'm saying in an accent, but that's the way I speak English. Thank you, Muskan. Same to you. Thanks, Trinity. The energy can come in you also. You are aspirants of CA. You have a whole lot of work to be done. You have a long journey. So stay energetic. Otherwise, how will you climb the Everest? Okay, good, Shoaib. Mohammed Shoaib, you read Economic Times. Thank you so much, Suryansh. You all are making my day, Saturday morning, 1st of July, the first day of my month, getting so many good responses from all of you. You are a wonderful batch, I should say. Amit, where are you from? Amit Nupane, where are you from? Santosh, you say you're reading, but you don't understand when somebody asks you, and there is so much scope for improvement. Even I am learning from all of you. 8 hours, Bhojraj, that's really enough. Okay, happy CA Day, Kushal. Same to you. I'll recommend the books, Roshni. Don't worry. Thanks. Okay. So, no specific query. Thank you so much for all the comments you have written. It's really good to have an energetic class. The first rule is, you should interact in my class, and you guys are doing that. So, I'm clapping for that. Thank you very much. So, this screen is clear. Fine. So, we've just done the first thing about why should you read. Okay. Now, this is an example. I'm showing you a small example and I want you to read. So every time I do a topic, I'll make sure there is some example on the basis of which I can explain things to you. Fine. So quickly read this. I'm sorry. Wait, should I go like this or should I? Okay, come on, read the example. It's based on the coconut tree. And then I'll ask you some questions. Everybody in the class has to read it. Whoever is present in my session cannot skip reading. It's a very small passage, just like 6 lines, hardly 6 lines. Please quickly read it. I'll then ask you some questions based on that. Vani, kitne hours? See, it's very subjective. You might be understanding the topic by studying only for 4 hours. I might be a slow reader. I might need 6 hours for the same topic. So it's not a very standard answer that I should study for 6 hours or 7 hours. But yes, less YouTube, less Netflix, less Reels, less TikTok. That's the only mantra for today. Ankita, I'll share the timetable technique. Don't worry. Thank you, Yashas. Thank you so much. Is that a typo error? Check your complement spelling, complementary angles wala compliment you have written. I'll tell you, Mr. MD, how to improve. Vikas is from Tamil Nadu. Okay. Yes, Ruhani, reading anything. So if you're reading fiction books, can you tell me the name of a couple of books you are reading? If you're reading the recent ones, which I'm hearing from people is the Rick Riordan, Percy Jackson series. But still, just tell me what are you reading? I'll suggest. Meanwhile, the others, please finish the passage. Don't waste time here and there. Don't look here and there. Okay, Amit is from Nepal, but you're living in Delhi now. Okay, that's why you have an FRO. I was just concerned about that. Yes, Praveen, I'll just do that. Timetable thing. Thank you so much, Joe Gopi. Kushal, you're reading Hindu. Very good. If you can manage to read Hindu, then these examples which I'm giving will be lollipops. You will not have any problem. Thanks, Sakshi. I'm sure you also have a nice voice and a nice face, just that I can't hear and I can't see. Yeah, I know it's banned, Rohit. Pankaj, remaining module, what do you mean by remaining module? I have some selected topics to take, so I'll definitely tell you what topics I'm taking. But today I'm taking comprehension, and comprehension is divided into 2 classes. One is today and one is on Tuesday. So I'll see you again on Tuesday, and again for 2 hours, I'll give you a lot of gyan. And I hope you take my gyan, and I really hope you all study well and you all become CAs soon. Yeah, I'll tell you, Lavya, just give me a minute. Okay, Sham is also from Nepal. Are you like neighbors? Sham and Amit from Nepal. One is in Delhi, one is in Tamil Nadu. Thanks. Done reading. Okay, Lavya is done. Saksham is done. Good to know that. Sneha is done. Fine. So most of you are done now. Okay, let's come to the passage. So when you get a passage like this, what's the first thing you're supposed to do? It's not a passage which we generally read every day. We don't want to study about coconut trees, but it was just part of an excerpt, so I thought I'll give it to you. First things first, underline the words which you think are not of your understanding. I have underlined them just in case you feel they don't make sense, you don't know what does the particular word mean. Please underline it, make a note, and find out the meaning from a dictionary, not from Google. Okay. Okay, fine, Chetna. Will you remember that, Harshita? Not from any Google sources, a good dictionary. Tropical countries, you've done this in geography. I don't think so. Knowing tropical, you know tropical fruits. There are tropical countries. India has a tropical climate. So we know tropical. The slender leaning trunk. Leaning means it's bent. You know, there is something called the Leaning Tower of Pisa. It's just like Qutub Minar, but it's bent at a certain angle. Lean means to bend. Slender means thin and smooth. So it's not like fatty. It's not like a WWE wrestler, but it's very slender, like thin and straight. That's what slender means. Next, crown of large feather-like leaves. Feather-like leaves. Remember your English classes. In 10th boards, your ma'am in school said, simile. The moment you see the word like and as, it is a simile. So there is a usage of a poetic device here. Next paragraph, bunches. It's a collective noun. A bunch of keys, a bunch of roses, a group of students, a team of players, a murder of crows, a parliament of owl, a pride of lion, a school of fish. All these are collective nouns. The annual yield is what comes out in the harvest. Whatever is coming out as the final product is the annual yield per tree. Okay, got it? I am not explaining the paragraph. That's very easy. I'm just telling you, this is how you should address a reading comprehension passage. Read it, underline the difficult words, make note of them in a rough copy, and see whether you know the meaning. And you will come across these words many times. It's not that this is the end of the world. Ek baar slender dekh liya, fir se nahi aayega. It's not possible. Slender will be repeated somewhere or the other in your other reading stuff. Okay? And there is no dearth of reading material. You can start from some good weekly magazines to some fiction, to some non-fiction, to maybe simple reading comprehension passage practice. So the practice content is too much. You only have to fit into that practice content. Okay, fine. So thank you very much for having read it. Now, I hope you guys did not have any problem in understanding this passage, because this is a good level. You can expect a level like this during your exam paper. Okay. Fine, done. All of you have done reading. Okay. Thank you, Saurav. You're enjoying the lecture. I'm enjoying teaching you all. Swollen base means it's a little bloated from the bottom. Like, you know, you get a swelling in your hand when you get injured or you get a wound, your skin or your body part just gets a little more fat. That's swollen. So the base of the tree is a little bloated, like fat. Bhumi, I wish I could take all BCR sessions, but that won't be possible. Very good, Razin. So now Razin has given me a wonderful comment. He's feeling very confident about the exam. Awesome. That's what I want you to be. So the day you have a BCR paper, I want all of you, Jayashri, Kushi, Kushal, Chetna, Bhumi, Amit, Priyanshu, everybody should be so confident that, okay, BCR we'll manage. The problem will come in the other subjects, but BCR I will definitely manage. No, Pavan, no Hindi. You have to learn English. The exam is going to be in English medium. I hope you're taking it in the English medium. So no Hindi. Try karo. Only when you listen to English and talk in English, you can learn English. If you want to learn a skill, you have to actually get down to that skill and do it. If you want to learn swimming, you can't sit in your bedroom, watch Netflix and learn swimming, right? You have to get down in the pool. That's what is with English. English बोलना सीखना है तो बोलना भी पड़ेगा और सुनना भी पड़ेगा. Palm is a kind of a tree. Kushal, the weightage, the number of questions, how many questions come per topic, all that is there in your MTPs and RTPs. You can please have a look. MTP means mock test paper. RTP means revision test paper. Okay. So it's there on the ICAI BOS portal. You can click on all the different papers you have. You can attempt each paper one by one, and then you will get to know the weightage. Oh, wow, Kushal, where are you? Are you on a coast somewhere? There is a coconut tree near your house, maybe in Kerala. See, Riddhi, time is never less. Time is always enough. You just have to be very confident about your preparation, because business correspondence and reporting exams just check your general knowledge, okay? Your general awareness about the subject. You don't have to remember formulas. You don't have to remember sections and acts. You don't have to remember any particular laws. It's just about your standard and your basic understanding of English. So when I ask you, all of you aspire to get into PwCs and Grant Thorntons and Deloittes. So there, when you have a foreign client, you can't expect yourself to speak in Hindi. So if you really want to be the face of your organization, you should be able to present yourself confidently. So what if I see Riddhi standing on the stage, addressing an audience of 500 people, giving a presentation on GST and its repercussions in the Indian economy? Isn't that great? I'll be the first one to clap. But for that, your knowledge base should diversify. You should have a wide knowledge base. Okay? Okay, Hansini, don't worry. Shivam, it's MCQ, and then for reading comprehension, you have to write answers, like 1 or 2 line answers. Thank you, Kavita. You have to stay motivated. This is one of my favorite subjects. For a CA, everybody will have a good knowledge of tax and accounts, etc. But when it comes to language, most of you fail to deliver your best because you're not trying to. Oh, okay, Karnataka. 70 kilometers from Bangalore, fine. Yield, I told you, Roshni, yield is whatever is the final outcome of the tree. So how many coconuts are coming out of a tree, that is the yield. Yes, Saurav, it's a good way. So Saurav has a very genuine question when I'm talking about reading skills. Saurabh is saying that he's watching a lot of English series with subtitles, which is a very good suggested way, because at the end of the day, you're reading something. But that doesn't mean it's only a masala or it's only a pulp fiction kind of a series where there is heavy content, where you're actually improving your language. That is perfectly suggested. Okay. Sure, Garv, I'll try my best. Okay, I think before we start on with coconut and coconut chutneys, half of you have made this chat discussion a Sagar Ratna or a Sarvana Bhavan. Let's carry on. My next example is a little more economics based. The first one was a general passage, so you can get a general passage. The second one is a more economic based passage. So we're doing capital formation. Okay, all of you read. Santosh, I already discussed. Slender means thin and sleek. It's like the thin, smooth stem of the coconut tree. Shubhadeep, see, it's not like, it's not like a Pythagoras theorem that I give you a formula and you start applying for pronunciation. Language is an art. You have to stand in front of the mirror, speak on certain topics, see where you're going wrong, make sure you're clear. Sometimes you speak in your mouth, sometimes you mumble, sometimes you're too loud. So your tone, your pitch, everything matters. And your facial expressions also matter. Okay. So pronunciation is a small thing. Unless you speak, I would not get to know where are you failing to pronounce the words correctly. Okay. Devansh has started painting a picture about where he is and how the scenery is from that window. Sham, these are my own examples. I'm giving you a practice study, so you will not find these in any book. Indian Express, yes, Harshita, it's sufficient. If you read it diligently, if you read it from first page to last page, then it's good. Okay, Ruhani is done. finance pronounced correctly. Kushal, finance is finance only. Miss Aleen Shri, why don't you have a look at the empty piece instead of asking me how many questions will be there, how many answers will be there? Please have a look, right? Okay, how many of you have done this now? Tell me. Fine. So let's start. Any words which you don't know, you can put it in the chat box. I will discuss them in a minute. Otherwise, I'm just telling you, this is a good level. So it'll be very easy for you to understand how is the level attempted, what kind of questions come. I'll obviously share the questions also. So please give me 2 minutes. Once everybody finishes this, I will share the questions. Consumption, insufficient, anything else? Capital, of course, I think all of you will know. Okay. So now my idea is I'm trying to give you a variety of topics to read so that I know that, if this much is read, then a larger passage can also be read. So don't say that I don't get time. That's not a very good excuse. If you really want to give me an excuse, give me a better excuse. I was doing more of accounts. I was doing more of business studies. I was doing more of pol science. I was doing more of tax. I was doing more of, maybe some XYZ topic. Then I can take it. But don't please say this, I did not have time. You have 24 hours in a day. Even if you sleep for like 10 hours, the rest of the 14 hours, I'm not asking you to study. Definitely, I'm not asking you to study. Out of those 14 hours, let's say 4 hours is complete time pass. You watch TV, you watch your phone, you watch YouTube, you watch reels, you make your own reels, etc. But at least the other 10 hours, I'm sure you can study. Out of which, if you spend at least 1 hour for English, you are sorted. Okay. Physical resources. What is physical resources means? I think the example is given. Please read the passage. That's why I'm telling you. Nizamul, it says physical resources like tools, machines, equipments, factory equipments, anything which is physical, which can be held in hand. The example is given in the passage. Still, if you ask, which means you are not reading it carefully and you land in trouble then. Culprit, you're talking about the meaning of culprit. Culprit is the person who's to be accused. Okay, he is the main accused. So who is the main person at fault? It's the underdeveloped or the developing economies. I just now told Shravani. Thank you, Mansi. Done. Yes, Saksham, that's a very good suggestion. Accumulating, Shubhadeep, accumulating means getting together. I have to accumulate a lot of wealth for my children. That's what elders say. You have to accumulate a lot of resources before you actually start studying. So to put together is accumulation. Anjali, I just now told you culprit. The primary culprit is the person who is the primary accused. It might not be a person, it might be an object also. Now, if you are asking me questions like insufficient capital, I really doubt you are reading anything in economics. Come on, Yashwant, you really have to, actually enhance your economics knowledge. You don't know what is capital? How are you thinking you will finish your BCR exam then? Done, done, done. Most of you have done. Okay. Yes, Moria, that's very good for reading. Oh, you had Sahana. That's wonderful. Okay, so most of you have done Khushi, Shubhojit, Yamane is your name. I'm sorry if I'm not getting the name correct. Ritu and Anand. Good. So this is clear. Now the intent is I'm giving you small passages so that one, that you sit and read, you have good focus, you have good concentration. Second, you are coming across various words. Third, you're coming across various topics. Okay. Fine. Now I'm increasing the level. So the first one was a very simple one based on coconut trees. Second one is a little difficult where I'm talking about the economics part of it. Third one is an even more difficult where you tell me what it is. I'm not giving you a hint. So please, all of you, read quickly. Example 3. Then we'll move on to the next part of comprehension. Yes, Sohil. Sakshi Cylinder. Why are you writing in Hindi? Try to attempt the questions in English. Give it a try. You can do it. Please, all of you, don't feel hesitant about speaking any language. You have to come out of your comfort zone. You cannot stick to Hindi, Telugu, Malayalam, Kannada, Marathi, Gujarati, Bengali. Not possible. When you enter into the corporate field, when you become an acclaimed CA, you will be meeting 10,000 people. Not everybody will know your mother tongue. Not everybody will want to speak in Hindi. So the only request is, please try to reach the expectations of your seniors. Try to speak in English, and there is no hesitation. It's not necessary that every time you speak, things have to come out the perfect way. No, even I am learning. The only thing is show your will to learn. So if you're reading such passages, definitely there are vocabulary words which are getting into your head. Definitely there are phrases and sentences and good expressions that are getting into your head. That is the first step towards improving your English. Okay. So if somebody is saying, I can see some messages saying, I have a good English. Yashwant, if you're joking in the class, isn't it really funny? You're asking me such questions and then you say you're joking. Please. Slender, I told you, Sakshi, slender was in the first example. Slender is thin and sleek, coconut tree stem. Refrain means to stop, to stay away from it. So I refrain myself from bad habits. I refrain myself from smoking and drinking, which is I keep myself away from all that. You should refrain from watching television during exam days. Subconscious is what is happening inside you and you are not evidently aware of it. It's like the dream part of it. So one is consciously, I've taken a decision of coming to a CA class and teaching. Subconsciously, it's always in my mind that I have to stay with students, I have to teach them. Something which your internal conscience tells you is subconscious. It's there somewhere in your mind always. That's why it's called sub. And something which you openly do it, willingly do it, is called consciously. Good, Ruhani. Very good. She's saying passage is completely clear. I just now told you refrain. Haunt is to scare. If you see some horror movies, you see a haunted house, or see you see a ghost which comes and haunts the hero and the heroine, and there is a old watchman coming with a lantern, and he says, nobody stays in this haveli for the last 35 years, but still there is a light on, still there are actions happening. That's like a haunted house. Traits are characteristics. Okay, Jayashree? Yes, Sumit, you are right. Evaluate. If I say I'm going to evaluate your performance, what does that mean, Shubhadeep? Maurya, refrain means to stay away from it. Sham, I just now told you, because I told you. Uttered means to speak. Please utter a word. Please utter something. When I'm angry, when I'm not getting an answer from the students, I say this. So uttered means to speak. Yes, correct, Richa. Okay, so Sohail is done. Bhumkesh is done. Richa is done. Gautami, I think I'm sharing the screen for a long time. You tell me how much more time you need to read, please. Manisha, I just now told you haunt is to scare. Yes, Komalpreet, correct. Traits means characteristics. Colleagues are people you work with, Saurabh. Yes, Garv, very true. Good Kesar, good Prakriti. Apologize means to feel sorry about it. Awesome, Bidisha. She's found a nice line from the passage which says the wise speak less. Very true. Pankaj, I don't know how much time you'll take for reading, right? You can mute, you can put the volume on low if when I'm talking it's disturbing you, but I don't know when you are reading while the others have got over. So it's like, there are 500 students in the class. I don't know who's reading when. So I have to speak. Okay, sorry for that, Pankaj. Maybe, Lavya, you must have. Okay. Poorly constructed. Amit, what does poorly mean? Badly. Construction means made. So something which is poorly constructed means it's not made correctly. Okay. The building was a poor construction, hence it fell down after 5 years. Thank you, Saurabh. I really like these ironies you guys are giving me. Good. Okay. Thanks for all this. I've got one feedback. I should speak little less when I've given you the passage. Now, what I'm going to do is I'll show you the passage for 1 minute. Within a minute, you have to finish reading, and I will not speak for that 1 minute. After that, I will start asking you questions. You start asking me your queries. Okay. And still, if you feel when I'm talking, it's getting disturbed, you can take out your earphones, you can put my voice on mute, and you can finish the reading. Cool. Okay. The next slide. Now, so you have if I ask you to rate the three passages on a level, on a scale of 5 in terms of difficulty level, which passage would you think would be most difficult? Which would be second and which would be first? So first is the easiest, second is like mediocre, and third was like really, really tough. How would you rate it? Tell me the order. As far as my understanding goes, I can figure out what you will all say, but still I want to hear it from you. So the coconut passage, the capital formation passage, and this communication skill passage. Which one was the easiest? Which one was the toughest? Sundaran, why are you reading Freud? Freud is a very high level reading. It's more about psychoanalysis. Unless you have a stronghold over language and you have been an avid reader, please don't read interpretation of dreams. 312, okay. Third one was easy. Fine. Coconut passage was easy. All was simple. Okay. Okay. Kushi found all the passages easy. Fine. So a general idea is the coconut one was easy. The capital one was okay. And this probably took a lot of time, maybe because of its size, maybe because of the number of words, maybe because of the length. Okay, good. Thank you so much, everybody. Now, the second thing is, why do you need to read? The first is we need to understand the text. We need to understand varied topics, varied issues. The second is you have to read to be a good reader because you have to comprehend the given matter. Comprehend means to understand. So you have to read with understanding. And the second is reading between lines, which means there is nothing between lines. Don't start getting a magic pen and start finding out what is there between the lines. There is nothing between the lines. It's just a metaphorical way of saying that I have to understand in the passage or from the passage what is not given also. Now you must be wondering, what is she saying? What is not given? How can I understand? But there is always a hidden message. There is always a hidden content in the passage. which you should be able to understand. So basically what I'm trying to say is, whenever there is a passage, one, that I'm reading the passage, two, I should also be very confident that there is a hidden message. So there is content between the lines. That's a phrase we use for hidden messages. Okay. So for these two reasons also, you have to read. This is an example 4. Now, this is an easy example. This is based on comprehending and reading between lines. So if you see this example, you will realize half of the passage is in bullet points. So it will hardly take any time for you to read, but the content of the passage is very difficult. So somebody just mentioned Freud and dreams and interpretation of dreams. This is somewhat related to that. So the content is tough, but the lines look to be simple, but you will have to spare more time in understanding this. Okay, so I'll keep quiet for 2 minutes. Please read it. In the meantime, I'll see the queries. You all read it, and then I'll ask you questions based on this. Yes, Roshni. I'm quiet. I'm not speaking. I actually can't sit quietly for more than a minute. That's what I realized just now. Bizarre is strange. To consolidate means to put things together. So let's have a consolidated view, which means 5 people have different views. Let's consolidate them. Let's collect them and organize them. Very good, Kartikeya. I hope nobody has slept reading the passage because it is about dreams, because it is a little heavy. Please don't sleep, all of you. Keep yourself awake. Okay, so let's start. Now, the passage is about dreams, you understood. There are explanations, possible explanations people have given about why do we dream. The first question I have is, many people are asking the meaning of bizarre. Bizarre means strange, very weird, where they don't make sense. And there's a lot of complications and a lot of confusion in the dream. That's bizarre. Okay. Psychotherapy is, psycho means mind, therapy means treatment. So there are sessions and treatments done for ensuring that your mind is in the right place. It's like something which we do for a patient who's suffering from depression or a patient who's suffering from hypothyroid, hypoactivism. So psychology is basically a science of the mind, and therapies are always treatment, sessions which involve asking discussions and treating your mind. Okay. Yes, I mean, there are a lot of theories about why you dream. And coincidentally, somebody just asked me if he should read Sigmund Freud, who is the father of psychoanalysis. But you don't need to read stuff which is very high for the subject. Your attention as CA aspirants should be in getting your answers correct for the exam of BCR. And importantly, having a strong hold over reading. If you read, like, general reading, if you're doing fiction reading, if you're reading non-fiction, if you're reading a newspaper, you're getting good vocabulary, you're getting good grammar, you know where to put your punctuations, you understand the meaning of phrases and clauses, you use a lot of idioms and proverbs, your vocabulary is stronger than what it was when you were in grade 8. That is the whole idea behind improving language. Okay. So this passage is done. Now, I don't want to discuss every passage because these are little examples. I just want you to be aware that this is a possibility. So don't stick to a particular topic. You will get psychology, you might get environment, you might get geography, you might even get politics, you might get philosophy, you might get spirituality, you might get religion. Any passage based on any topic is possible for your exam. Okay? Bizarre means strange. I'm feeling very bizarre now that why is everybody asking me the same word 10 times when I've already told you once? This means you're not listening to me carefully. Yes, Pankaj, you've rightly said. Now everybody will start thinking what are dreams and let's Google on dreams. So the page where the dream content is there will have maximum number of hits because everybody will start thinking, why do you dream? So dream is a very important concept. There are different types of dreams. There is daydreaming, there is nightmares, and there's lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming is where you know that you're dreaming, but you fail to realize it's a dream. You feel it's reality. It's so clear that you feel you are in the real life, but it's actually a dream. Okay. Okay. Somili is asking me adapt and adopt. Okay. Sorry. Where is it given adopt and where is it given adapt? Can you tell me, Somili? Adopt means to take over. So if you adopt somebody, you adopt children, etc., you are taking them over. Adapt is to adjust. You have to adapt to new situations. You have to adapt to a new environment. Adopt is to take over something. Okay. Komalpreet, what series are these? Can you give me an example? Thanks, Chetna. Thank you so much for that compliment. I have read Dostoevsky, but definitely it's not pleasure reading. Dostoevsky takes time to understand. So only when you have the right frame of mind, you should read Dostoevsky. Amit, what I meant is when you are reading, your understanding of the language improves, right? So you will realize that this is an idiom, this is a proverb, this is a simile, this is a metaphor, and you will start using them when you write or when you speak. Sakshi, okay, good. Colleagues, Mohammed, I just now told you, colleagues are people with whom you work. Okay. Okay, so adopt is given in, yeah. Learn English with friends. Okay, good. Thanks, Jia. Thank you so much. See, Manish, I cannot say there is all bad dreams, nightmares, not necessarily Yashas. See, what type of article reading is best for exam? Honestly, if you read a good newspaper every day, you are sorted for the exam. But you should make sure that you're reading variety of content. That's my only request, and I've been repeating it right from the beginning of the class. Because when you see your mock test papers and when you see the revision test papers, you will realize that the content which comes in reading comprehension is not necessarily related to accounts and finance and economics and GDPs and tax and audits. No, there is a variety of content. And if you really want to master the reading comprehension question, then you have to you should have read all that. Because I see many people, they get stuck in vocabulary. You can see here, for example, even if you understood the passage, many of you are asking me the meaning of bizarre, for slender. If you don't move ahead with the word, you will get stuck. And then there will definitely be a vocabulary question asking which of the following word means the same as bizarre. So -1 because you don't know the answer, you leave it, or you'll maybe mark a wrong answer, isn't it? So what I'm trying to say is the BCR paper, when it comes to the English part of it, is a very objective kind of a paper. You don't have to sit with books. You don't have to sit with Renan Martins. You don't have to sit with Shakespearean drama for all that. You just need to be aware of good, decent language. You should be reading a good newspaper. You should be probably reading a nice magazine, a daily magazine, maybe like India Today, The Week, The Outlook, Frontline, etc. That itself is enough practice for many of the aspects of the BCR. Not just reading comprehension, it also takes care of article writing. It also takes care of report writing. It also takes care of pressy writing. Because when you read an article, you understand how exactly an article is written. Similarly, if you read newspapers, you will know what exactly is a newspaper report, isn't it? So when you attend class, we'll be giving you tips that, just read all this. Don't mug them up. There is no rote learning required. And you are really, really, confident after 10 days that, yes, I know I can do the paper well. Okay. It's a 40-mark paper. It's not even like a 100-mark paper. So you don't have to worry much. Okay. Colleagues. Sakshi, it's colleagues. That's the pronunciation. Yes, Jayashree. So what happens is when you don't know the meaning, for example, you did not know the meaning of bizarre. Okay. So when I say the dreams can be entertaining, fun, romantic, disturbing, frightening, sometimes bizarre, I definitely get a feeling that this is a word which is used with sometimes. Okay. So first list is very clear. Bizarre means how can a dream be? You think for yourself. Dreams can be entertaining, dreams can be funny, dreams can be romantic. Sometimes you might be getting dreams which are really strange and out of the box and they don't make sense. So think for yourself. Maybe bizarre means this. So you definitely have to think on your own to guess the meaning of a particular word because nobody is going to come and tell you there in the exam. Apps are good, Amit, but apps don't help you get that confidence while what reading will help you do. Okay. There is a chapter in 12th grade, Going Places. Yes. Yes, exactly, Lavya. That's wonderful. Okay, Krishna, I'm doing my best. Harshita, we'll do that when we're doing a question based on find the heading or choose the best heading. Then I'll discuss that. Okay. No, there is no negative marking, Krishna. Okay. Next. This is the third one, the need for reading, the third part. So we've done the first, we've done the second, and this is the third one, which is you have to give an opinion. So the main aspect about reading which comes to your level is definitely understanding, definitely delivering, but also critically analyzing a text. Critical analysis is you should be able to tell me whether the text has been written nicely, whether all the elements have been covered, whether topics are not missing, whether there is good paragraphing, whether there is good punctuation, whether choice of vocabulary is good, whether the style of expression used is perfect. That is critically analyzing. It's very simple. Like, I make a report and I give it to you. So I ask you, okay, please see whether my report is correct. So you will sit and check, okay, has she written this? Has she written that? Is there this element missing? Why has she not conducted a survey? Where is the pie chart? Why is the Venn diagram missing? So when you are analyzing, you are looking from a very objective point of view. So you are the teacher there. You are the evaluator there. So analysis means you sit and you go through all pages and you give a feedback for every page. Like you do a movie analysis. These days I'm reading a lot of critical analysis for the movie Adi Purush. So what's there in Adi Purush? Okay, dialogues could have been better, screenplay could have been better, costumes could have been better. That is analysis. So I'm critically analyzing it. And critical analysis does not always mean only positive. Critical analysis can be positive and negative both. Okay. So when you have to critically analyze a text, you are basically giving your opinion. You are adding more suggestions that this could have been done better. This could have been done in a better way. This could have been done a little more differently. Something could have been reduced. Something could have been added. That is adding value. Okay. And last is learning. So when I'm watching something, when I'm reading a report, I'm also learning because there is a lot of information coming from that particular report or movie or text or seminar or workshop. So if I have to critically analyze, a lot of responsibility comes on me to come back with a feedback. So for that, I should be very confident about what I have read. Okay. So this is one example 5, which is about globalization. It's a long passage. So I'll finish this fourth topic and then I'll share the passage with you before we go for a break. And then there is one passage for every detail. Okay. Okay. The fourth reason is to be able to differentiate between actions, which mean analysis I just now did. After analysis, it should be prediction. Prediction means I should be able to tell what's going to happen. So when you're reading a report, when you're reading a survey report, or when you're reading the meteorological department report, I should be able to predict. Okay, maybe they are saying there's going to be rainfall. Maybe they're saying there's going to be a thunderstorm. Okay, prediction. Inference is what happens after the conclusion. So what can I infer? What can I understand on my own from what is given in the text, but it is not stated. Not stated means it is not written. I have to understand it on my own. And last of all is evaluation, which is checking, which is giving grades, which is giving marks, which is giving a suggestion or a feedback. That is evaluation. Okay. So you are left with this passage and this passage. These two we will read after we take a short break. I'll come back in 5 minutes. It's almost 12:02 by my clock. So I'll be there by 12:07. You just have to come back quickly. We'll continue with the passage. I'll have a look at the queries. If there are any genuine doubts, we'll definitely sit and spend time on the doubts. Otherwise, I'll keep moving on with the presentation. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. See you in 5 minutes. Okay, students, welcome back after a short Kit Kat break. Let's continue with the class. So we have done various reasons why you have to study. I'm trying to explain the need to study, which is a very important aspect because at your age and in this profession, people keep asking, why do we need to study English? So that's the main reason why I'm trying to convince you that studying is really going to help you. Reading, basically, not studying. So this is the example I want you all to read. It's about globalization. The very first word of the passage says it is globalization. So please finish this. I'll keep myself mute. Read it till the last line started in 1991. And the passage continues to the next page. I'll share the next page in about 2 to 3 minutes when all of you are done reading. Okay? Please read. Everybody, please read. Done. Okay. Just 1 minute, Shubhadeep and Om. Let's wait for the others. Okay, good. So since most of you have done Apurva, Vindhya, Pankaj, Shravani, everybody, I'll move to the next slide. I'm waiting. Okay. So now on the whole, if I ask you, how much of this passage could you understand in terms of percentage? Okay, because I can see a couple of you asking me the meanings of some words. It's easy. I'll tell you the meanings, but that's not what my purpose is. How much have you understood the passage without knowing the meaning of some words? Like the general the general trend I'm seeing is many of you are asking me liberalization. Many of you are asking me bonanza. Many of you are asking me invaded. Many of you have asked me toiletries. So having kept these 4 to 5 words in mind, please tell me, and cutthroat competition, Somali is asking me, how much of it have you understood? I mean, keeping in mind the fact that 4 to 5 words were not known. So what happens is, if you don't know, like if you say 60%, 70%, maybe 50%, because these words do make a difference. If you are not sure with all the words of a particular passage, it is definitely going to affect your understanding. It might be a straightforward question in the question list. Which one of the following words means the same as bonanza? What do you understand by the word invaded? Okay. Cutthroat competition is neck to neck competition. There is so tight and stiff and tough competition. It's cutthroat, like everybody is vying for rank one at 0.1 marks. So the difference between the rank one and rank two and rank three is only 0.1 point. That's called cutthroat competition. Okay. So I'm just wanting to know that without having understood how much of you under, okay, 100%, it's easy. Some say 95, okay. Some say 90, fine. Okay, some Chandana says she's understood. Shubhadeep says 70. 95% because 2 words were not known. Okay. Kashish says 99%. Harshita says almost 80. Very good. Santosh says almost 80. Fine. Sakshi has finished reading. Nikita, I will tell you, invaded means conquer, to attack, basically. Priyanshu says 100%. Okay. So what I've realized is, even if you don't know the words, if you're able to understand the passage 100%, that is like just like an icing on the cake. It's the best thing that can happen to you. Very good. But if there are questions directly based on those words which you don't know, then you are stuck in trouble. Then arises the problematic situation. And honestly, don't feel bad about it. The words, the meanings of the words which you are asking are very, very simple. I expect you to know these words at your age. You all have had CBSE, ICSE boards in school. So when you read books like your NCRT Flamingos and Beehives, etc., I'm sure you have read a lot of stories and a lot of poetry where the vocabulary has been higher than what I am showing you in the passages, isn't it? So for that reason, I'm requesting, please keep reading something every day, even if it's 5 pages, even if it's 2 pages. The fact that you will read, you will come across words, the words will haunt you in your mind. You will open a dictionary, you will try to find the meaning. That is my whole purpose. Once you are doing that regularly, the passage-based question is very, very easy. Okay? Got it? Fine. Okay, somebody has 2 words doubt. Okay, sort of says economics has been his favorite subject. Good. Okay, this is clear. Now the example for this. See, within 2 hours, if I have been able to make you read 6 passages, I think I'm doing a wonderful job by forcing you. I wish you can force yourself too. I will not always be around to sit and ask you to study. So the only request is, all of you, please read things on your own. And after this, I'll discuss how to read and what to read. All that will be taken care of. Okay. Okay, Chandana, I get it. It was Hindi medium, so SSC board will be different. Okay, now this is a tough passage. Please read it slowly. Even if you don't understand, it's okay. It's just one of the ways I want you to be familiar with what can come for your exam. Okay. So don't feel disheartened. Don't feel discouraged. Also, don't feel sad about the fact that you could not understand. I cannot increase the font as such, Pratima, because it's already a done passage. I'll see if I can zoom in, maybe, if that helps you in some way. Is this okay? This is the easiest thing I can do if you are unable to read it. I think zoom in will even more create troubles. So you rather. Huh. So those of you who did not know the meaning of the word bonanza can open a dictionary and find it out. I'll be happier to see you finding meanings rather than asking me the direct meaning and then you forgetting it. Finished? Here, I'm sure you will have a lot of doubts, starting from deleterious to pharmacologist to anaphylaxis to lymph vessels to penicillin to layman's vocabulary, maybe bronchoconstriction, a lot of doubts. Okay. Now, the reason behind giving a passage which is so very based on medicine and, doctors and hospital and diseases is you are not expected to know everything. So this is a passage which is only good for somebody who's a medical aspirant, who's probably going to write NEET sometime. Okay, the exam NEET. So for you as a CA aspirant, you don't have to worry about all the terminologies, all the difficult words, because I don't need them to that level. What is an iatrogenic disease? What do you mean by a blood related disorder? What do you mean by anaphylaxis? You don't need to know. I am just making an attempt to help you realize that the variety of content which is available might not always be of your help. So, a passage like this can be critically analyzed if you are a good reader. But if you are reading for the first time and you get a passage like this, then I'm sure you will go mad because there is so much which you don't know. Probably the whole passage becomes a doubt then. And that very moment, you stop reading. So your enthusiasm or your energy for reading more and more actually comes to a halt. It comes to a downward graph because you are not enjoying it. So my whole request is start with topics which you enjoy reading. Read small stuff in the beginning, then increase the size. And very importantly, read when you are in the best of your mood. Don't read forcefully. Don't read late nights if that time is not suitable. Don't read early morning if that time is not suitable. Don't read when you already have a lot of stress because of other subjects. Always read with a calm and open mind. Things will get into your head better. The retention power will be better. You will be able to learn new things. And the concentration you need for reading passages will also be high. Okay, fine. Chandana, you can read an Oxford Dictionary. Yes, Sadhana, I could guess. Cured is to make better, to cure a disease. Okay, so I'm not discussing like word by word what the passage is about. My intent was just to make it clear that these are also contents which you can be asked, but definitely we will not go into the depth when it comes to vocabulary. Okay, now this is a very, very important aspect or an important slide. What I've written in the left side in the red color are some real important points which have to be kept in mind when you are reading a passage. Okay, I'm explaining this only from the exam point of view because you will get a comprehension. Based on the comprehension, you will get a lot of questions. So for that reason, what are the really important 6 things or 7 things which you have to work upon, which you have to practice. That's what I'm discussing. Okay. The first is the main idea. Now, the main idea behind the passage on globalization was how globalization and liberalization go hand in hand. The main idea behind the passage on coconut trees was giving you a description about the growth and the development of a coconut tree, isn't it? So the main idea of a passage is, what is the passage trying to tell me? What is it trying to convey? What message is given? Why is the author trying to use some kind of a topics? Because he wants to deliver in a certain way. And what is that idea he wants to deliver is the main idea. Okay. Is it necessary to search the meaning of the passage? Not necessary. Not this passage, not necessary. Okay. Second is the secondary idea, which is not very important, but it's there in the passage. So the focus is not on that. For example, let's say the passage on globalization. The focus is on globalization, but the secondary aspect was liberalization, which is going a little lower in importance. Okay. Third is the underlying points, which are hints given in the passage, which are not very evident. This is something which I call reading between lines, the third point, underlying points, wherein you have to understand that there are some hidden points, and only when I read and reread and reread, I will get those hidden points. It's like solving a Sherlock Holmes mystery. You all see mystery movies, you all see mystery channels, you all see mystery OTT platforms. So there, what is being done? You are trying to solve a case. But to solve a case, you have to see and analyze that case 3 times, 4 times, multiple times. It's the same with the passage. Okay. Next is vocabulary and collocations. Vocabulary is basically how you can substitute the simple words you know with stronger words. Like if I say, I was just, I sometimes, you see a performance and you enjoy it so much that you don't know what to say. So you will say, I was mesmerized. I was enthralled. I felt enchanted. All these are words which show that you just got lost somewhere in the performance when it was happening because it was so beautiful. So what are the 3 vocabulary words? Mesmerized, enthralled, enchanted. Okay. It was so magical. It was as if magic is happening. The dancers were moving here and there, the hand actions, the facial gestures, the expressions, everything was as if, there is magic. I could not think about it as real. So vocabulary means all those words which you think are a little beyond the normal, but you should know them. Okay. Difference between facts and opinions. Now, this is a very analytical topic. If I say the sun rises in the east, it's a fact. If I say water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, it's a fact. If I say, let's say, Earth has a Milky Way, Earth has a galaxy called the Milky Way, it's a fact. If I say the sun is a stationary star, it's a fact. But if I say the Earth is a good planet to stay on, to live on, it's an opinion. If I say North of India has more pollution than South of India, it's my opinion. If I say East of India has more rainfall than West of India, it's my opinion. If I say, let's say the weather is more favorable in Goa than it is in Punjab, it's an opinion. So fact is, which is true for all, universal truths, universally true for every person on the world. Opinion is just my feeling, what I feel about it. Fact is something which can be proven. Opinion is something which I personally feel towards that topic. Okay. And last of all, tone, style, mood of the author. Tone and style and mood, each of these we will discuss in one of the classes of reading comprehension. There is a huge list of words which you should know as tone of the author, because mostly if you see your MTPs and RTPs, there is a question on what is the tone of the author in the above passage. Tone of the author means what style is he taking up? Like, sorry, not style, tone of the author is, what is that sound, or what is that evidence coming from his choice of words? Is he trying to inform you? Is he trying to preach you? Is he trying to persuade you? Is he trying to provoke you? Is he trying to just simply give you some gyan? So all that is tone. Style is it a descriptive passage? Is it a narrative passage? Is it an informative passage? Is it an expository passage, etc.? Okay. So this is one topic which I will discuss later in detail. Till now, if you have any doubts, you may please ask me. Amit, see, Google is all made up and there are not many authentic sources. So what is your source for finding the meaning of a word? I don't know, isn't it? But dictionaries are proven books where there is a lot of research being done by linguists, and before a word goes into a dictionary, there is enough thought about and discussed on it. So I suggest dictionaries are better. You can take up a Oxford dictionary, you can take up a Collins dictionary, or you can take up a Merriam-Webster dictionary. These three dictionaries are the really good ones which are, accepted around the world. Vindictive is having a tendency to take revenge. Underlying points are those which are not very, very important. It's like the most important, main idea, little bit important, secondary idea, least important, underlying points. Okay. Shubhadeep, good, but you should now, attempt something harder than Hardy Boys. Hardy Boys, Famous Five, all these Enid Blyton books, they are done for your age. I will, Sahana. The class is not yet over. Don't worry. I have another session also. I will definitely suggest. Okay, fine. Okay, now I'm not asking you to read because it will take a little time. So this is a passage with questions. Okay, I think let's do it. Are you okay? Or are you all okay with mesmerized and enchanted? Okay, before I move you to the passage, these are some tones and styles which I want to discuss. Okay, now when I talk about tone of the passage or tone of the author, it's always important that we use certain words to describe the tone. Like when you're learning music, I'm sure there are students in class who are learning music, maybe some instrumental music. So you say B minor, C sharp. That's, those specific notes or beats you want to start your song with. Similarly, for tone, there is a specific language which we use. I cannot say tone is good or bad. These are the words, and the list is obviously long. I'm just giving you some examples. These are some words which we use for tones and styles. So if I say the tone is acerbic, it means it's very, very sharp. It's very, very full of hatred. It's acidic. So when I see opposition parties fighting in the parliament, you have acerbic comments coming out. Okay, you get the meaning, which is being very accusatory and sharp and full of hatred. Cynical is skeptical. You're not sure about it. You're still thinking. Okay. Emotional is obviously, it's like full of melodrama. It's like a Karan Johar movie where there is a lot of emotions and crying and love and romance, and this everybody is like feeling everything with so much passion that becomes emotional. Humorous is definitely, you all watch comedy movies and comedy shows like Kapil Sharma. That these are all humorous shows. Laudatory is when I'm praising somebody. So when I'm praising the Lord, when I'm standing in a church and I'm praising the Lord, I'm being laudatory. When I'm writing a speech where I'm praising the next speaker, I'm being laudatory. When I'm introducing somebody like Virat Kohli or Sachin Tendulkar and inviting them to the field, I'm being laudatory. So laudatory means to praise. And last, it's a technical passage. So when the author is only writing about how to use ChatGPT and what are its pros and cons, I'm being technical. When he's giving you a code to write on, he's being technical. When I'm talking about artificial intelligence and machine learning and telling you about how does it work, I'm being technical. If I'm talking about blockchain method, I'm being technical. Okay. So basically, I am being technical when I'm using a lot of information about technology in my passage, and that is the tone. Okay. The next comes style. Now, in styles of the passage, we only talk about some angles here. I will not be giving you a detail. For example, narrative. Narrative is always first person. So I visited Kulu Manali last year and I want to give you a blog. These days, people are making vlogs. You have the camera on and you say, okay, see, here I am, etc., etc. So that's a narrative style of speaking. For us, it's only writing right now. Analytical is when I'm trying to go deep into it and give you a critical view, which is analysis. Like sometimes, when elections happen, you have these exit polls happening. So they critically analyze which state, how much voting, what is the percentage, what is the gender ratio, etc. That is critical analysis. Description is basically detail, which means I'm giving you the details about how to stay in Manali, where to stand, where to stop, where to board a train, which hotel to take, what are the sightseeing points. That is descriptive. Informative is I'm telling you about ChatGPT and its usage. That is informative. Abstract is very much related to philosophy. If I talk about what are dreams, that is more about psychology. But abstract is more about talking about colors, talking about greenery, talking about the weather, talking about my mood. All that is abstract, which is just anything. Okay. So I'm trying to explain everything in a way. I've given you words in such a way that when you come across these in, let's say, your main passage, your main exams, and when you come across these in your MTBs and RTBs, you are at least familiar with these topics. Okay. Fine. Okay, so I'll just have a look at the questions. Somebody is asking me something. Avikesh, could you please repeat the meaning of the cynical tone? Cynical tone is, let's say, if you have a passage which is being a little doubtful, where I'm not sure about the good and the bad, I'm not sure about the decision, I'm being a little skeptical, that is cynical. Okay, where there is a little hatred, there is a little negativity, there is a little pessimism, that is being cynical. Okay, got it? Descriptive can be narrative, yes. So the overlap is possible, Tahira. Any passage which is descriptive can be narrative, any passage which is analytical can be narrative. The overlap is possible within styles. Yes, Tahira, correct. Vidisha, acerbic means very acidic, very sharp comments. When I'm completely accusing somebody and I'm using a very rough and a very foul language, it's called acerbic. Yes, Tahira, it can be description of a book. Okay? Fine. So now I have this passage and the passage on power foods. Okay. So I want you to read this passage 7. It's continued in the next page also. Finish reading. There are some questions towards the end. Then you can attempt the questions also. And then I'll take you to passage 8, which will probably be the end of your reading. Then I'll definitely towards the end of the class discuss some reading tips. Okay. So I'll be mute for a minute. You can easily read the passage on power foods. Any word which you did not understand, you can see the recorded lecture again, or you may refer to a dictionary and you will get to know the meaning. If I have time, I'll definitely discuss all the word meanings again. Some of you are asking me about laudatory, some of you are asking me about acerbic. So I'll tell that. Please read it carefully. Okay, read everybody? Okay, good. Rohani is quite fast in reading. Study material page number. For what, Asha? Which page number are you asking? If you have finished reading this slides, the passage continues to the next. Please finish this also. Again, I'm telling you, Shubhadeep, if you try and come to each word and the meaning, I'll be spending the whole day discussing that. So please keep a note of all the words you did not understand, refer to a dictionary, come back to the passage, you'll understand it better. Razeen, what actually happens is when you have an overlap, the choices given in the question will not be entertaining the overlap. So you'll have discrete choices. Otherwise, of course, what you rightly said, you will be only focusing on the dominating one if in case there is an overlap. Not exactly. Dhruv, cilantro and coriander are a little different. Avikesh, check for a dictionary. Tahira, check for a dictionary. I'm not telling you the meaning of anything today. Easy passage. Okay, Harshita, good. It's okay, Sahana. That's what I want you to see. What are you not understanding? Catechins, dictionary, please, Garv. Okay, so most of you have done. Now, can you tell me, is it an informative passage? Yes or no? Is it giving you information about something which maybe we can, use in our life, implement in our life and become better? Is it telling you some very important information about which herbs to use, which spices to use, which fruits to use, what is good for health? Yes, you get it. So this is an informative passage. It is not a descriptive passage. Okay, some of you were getting confused between descriptive and informative. That's why I'm telling you. A descriptive passage will be one which is giving a description. For example, I'm explaining the concept of GST. Then I'll describe step by step how exactly tax is calculated. If I'm giving you the example of photosynthesis, then I'm going to describe the whole concept. If I'm talking about laws of motion, I'm going to describe. That is descriptive. Definitely, an informative passage can be descriptive, but in this case, there is more information, less description because it's an objective passage. Okay, so it's an objective, informative passage because you are getting information, but the author is not going overboard by describing things. He's just stating some important points which will help you become healthy in life by taking care of your diet. That's the whole agenda behind this passage. Okay, got it now, everybody? Burns misspent. Okay. Yeah, okay. Got it. So this is what I wanted to tell you, that when we read from a very objective perspective. Don't get worried if you are unable to understand one word or the other. It happens, it's just by chance, so you don't have to worry about that. Secondly, if there is a word which you do not understand, write it aside. After you finish the passage, look for the meaning in a dictionary. You can definitely do this exercise during practice, but when you're actually attempting an RTP or a mock test, then I will discourage you, because then you should realize how much of it you did not know and what difference is it making by not knowing. Okay, how much are you losing on by not knowing a particular word? That motivation is what is required in you. Got it, everybody? Last line missing some words. Why? Sundaran, I didn't get you. Okay, now very important, somebody is asking which dictionary. I just now told you, Tahira, Oxford Dictionary is good, Merriam-Webster's is good, and Collins is good. Okay. Fine. So this informative passage was in a very objective tone. It did not have any personal opinions. It did not have emotions. It did not have any harsh language. It was very objectively written, giving reasons why banana is good, why a cilantro is good, what is the best part of a yogurt, how much sugar intake should be taken by whom. So everything has been very objectively stated. Okay, without having opinion based statements. That is very important. Okay, got it? So, after having done all this, I wanted you to look at these questions. So, when I read a passage, the first thing is I should be able to answer the questions that follow. So, for example, it starts with power foods. You should be able to tell me power foods. So, if I move towards the back slide, the first line tells me power foods are foods that provide rich levels of nutrients like fiber, potassium, and minerals. Okay. What are the rules regarding the partaking of power foods? Again, if you go through, you will find the rules, because I've given you very standard, straightforward questions. I have not given you any tricky questions. Everything will be there in the passage. Why is green tea recommended? There is a big line about why green tea is recommended, because it makes the catechins even more easily absorbable. What is the advantage of combining green tea and lemon juice? So next time you have friends, instead you can serve them iced green tea with mint and lemon juice, because the absorption of catechins happen better. Okay. So please, as a request, one thing from today onwards, start reading variety of stuff. Take hold of a good newspaper, read a good newspaper every day. Very importantly, spend time towards improving your language. Language is, something where I feel many of you have a hitch. You fail to speak, you fail to deliver, you fail to come out with your own opinion. So try doing that. Now, I will share the list of books definitely. It's there with me. I have another class which is based on reading comprehension. So I'm going to share it there. But most importantly, did you understand the need to read? If you understood why am I asking you to read, then I'm sure you will start reading. But if you still think, why should I read? How is it going to help me? then attempting the BCR paper will be difficult. See, the paper is only checking your understanding of English. It wants you to read so much that any case study, any survey report, any other audit report given to you, you are able to manage it so well that there is no doubt in your understanding. Okay? Your understanding should be not just the lines given, but what is there between the lines. If you are able to do that, then this 40 marks paper will not trouble you at all. You will be able to really do well in the exam. The exam is mostly objective. In the reading comprehension section, we ask students to write some answers, 1 or 2 line answers, not very long ones, little short ones. But that's very important because that will be possible only when you have understood the passage. Now comes to the reading part. If you take up books by Indian authors to begin with, they are a good recommendation. If you haven't read anything, then taking up a 9th to 12th grade CBSE NCERT books are also a good choice to begin with. If you have never read things in your life and you are not a very avid reader, then you can start with these. Second thing is, make a list of all the vocabulary words you are learning every day. It should be like a flashcard, at least 5 words to be learned every day, especially from whatever you have read. Even if you have read a passage in the newspaper, or you have read an article in a magazine, or you have read a blog, 5 words which you don't know, you have to put down in a list and start learning the meanings. Okay, learn the synonyms, learn the antonyms. Third thing, watch some series in English, watch it with subtitles. That aspect is a good entertaining way of improving your language. Okay, it's not going to help you in many ways, but it is definitely going to help you in understanding the usage of language. Okay. Yes, Karthike, that is good. Pronunciation would not matter, Tahira, because as long as you know the meaning of the word, there are many words which have to be pronounced in different ways. So it's perfectly fine. Please don't worry about pronunciation. If you can stand and address an audience, that is more important than how you pronounce a word. Okay, because sometimes you have a regional dialect. So that is one reason why the words which come out don't sound the way they are. Fine. Clear, everybody? So today onwards, read a newspaper and read something regularly. Start standing in front of the mirror and speak about topics which are close to your heart. Come out with better expressions. Come out with good ideas. Converse in English with your friends. Make a group of 5. Take up a topic and start a debate, start a discussion. Refer to books which you have already read, suggest books to each other. All this will comprehensively improve your language. And when you are doing an RC, when you are doing a comprehension, the idioms, the phrases, everything will be very, very clear to you. Because see, there is no dearth of content. There is so much content. So one reason is you have to refer to the study material. The ICAI study material has been made in a very, very, very peculiar way that it is easy, it is detailed, and it's going to be from the exam point of view. So if you finish all the practice questions there, if you if you listen to the live video lectures, I think the BCR paper will not at all be a trouble. Okay, get it? Voice is lagging. Okay, I don't know. I think it's clear from my side. Thanks, Kushal. Thank you so much. Harshita, I would rather recommend books than recommend series that you can check with your own friends. For books, I told you, you can read Sudhamurthy, you can read Arundhati Roy, you can read Khushwant Singh. These are some famous Indian authors. Otherwise, I have a ready list of books which I will share towards the end of the class, the next session, not today. So we'll go step by step. Please make sure you have flashcards. Please make sure you are learning at least 5 new words every day. You're reading a newspaper every day and you're increasing your speed. So for that, one thing I should tell you, don't speak out when you speak. Vocalization is not considered to be a good aspect. It actually decreases your speed. So read in your mind. Let's not disturb people sitting next to us, and let's keep our momentum high. The higher, the higher the momentum, the better the results. Don't take the BCR paper lightly. Though it's a 40-mark paper, it's going to check a lot of your understanding of English and the language, even asking you to read various topics, even attempting grammar. So what is being evaluated is so much, but what is being prepared is so much. So you have to bridge the gap between little preparation and so much of evaluation. Okay. Well, thank you so much for being so attentive in class, for asking all the relevant questions. I did not have any silly queries today. Thanks for attempting everything which I gave you. Thanks for reading the passages. And I'm getting a lot of web series discussions now. So before I actually enter to the web series discussion, I would like to end my session. I'm hearing a lot of comments from people in the chat. Shubhadeep, Janvi, Santosh. Glad you enjoyed. Glad you enjoyed this session. I hope there is some learning happening. See you again on Tuesday. We'll continue with the comprehension. I'll again give you questions. Please practice them. And also make sure you all pick up a book tonight. That'll be the best gift you can give to me. Pick up a book tonight, start reading, and on Tuesday, I'm going to ask you all, what are you reading? Okay. Please listen to the session again if required. Start reading small passages. Don't jump up to longer ones. Don't jump up to serious essays. Read chapters, read paragraphs. That is the first step towards actually sitting down and reading. Okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks for all the lovely compliments. It's so good to be in a class where everybody was dedicated and listening patiently. Have a nice day. Enjoy the weekend and see you on 4th of July. Thank you, guys.